What is going on, guys? Panther here, and we are bringing your APA Little Cup Season 1 Week 4 match against Jack and his Los Angeles Valienteis. So Jack has a very, very scary team. His team is very offensive, which is really hard to deal with in Little Cup. And then also he has a good defensive backbone as well. So let's go over his team real quick, and then we'll talk about mine a little bit. So he has the Carvana, which is just such a huge threat in Little Cup if you lack priority, which my team does. So it's very hard for me to deal with that mon. It could be special, it could be physical. I have Chespin, which can take one hit from Bull, but it cannot switch in. So I lose a mon basically every time that mon hits the field. If Jack's able to play that one right. He's got a Fungus, which my team matches up pretty decently against. I have Ponyta and Wingle to deal with it, but I have a special Chespin set to help me deal with it also. So we'll talk about that here in just a second. He has Larvitar. Larvitar is a good bring on his part as well. It stops my Volt Switch spam from my Helioptile. I can switch into my Ponyta as well. It doesn't care about burns because it does have access to the guts. So good bring there on the Larvitar. He has Starly. I expected either this or Darumaka to come. Probably in a Choice Scar form. So I did bring the Rock and Roll here to help me check one of those two. The Mareep, I'm expecting bulky Mareep, like an Eviolite Mareep perhaps, to help him check the Wingle, because Wingle really is a problem for his team to deal with. And then Jangamo. Jangamo was a big threat for my team in team prep. I do not have a fairy type. I almost brought Chingling again for it, but I get blown away by Outrage or even Z Outrage. So it wasn't a threat. My only way of stopping this thing is not letting it set up, and as an emergency check I have some special tech as well. So let's talk about my team a little bit. First up, we have our Wingle. I'm allowed to run the Modest Nature here this week just because Jack's speed tiers. So I am Fly Z with U-Turn Hurricane Scald, and I have Substitute for Carvana. If he wants to protect on my Wingle to get the speed boost, I can just sub up on that thing. I have Glintstone up next, my Roggenrola, Stealth Rock, Rock Blast, Explosion, and Earthquake. I am Berry Juice, so this thing is built to take on the Darumaka and the Starly. Now, I have to be very, very careful with my Roggenrola, because it can be setup fodder for some of his Pokemon. So if it's ever in on the Jangamo, I'm booming, or on the Larvitar, I'm also staying in and Earthquaking. I cannot afford to let either one of those Pokemon set up to +1 with their respective Dragon Dances, because I'm in a lot of trouble if that were to happen. But I do have emergency answers to though. So let's just continue right on down the line here. I have a Eviolite Ponyta. It is bulky. It can switch in on the Fungus. It can take a hit from Darumaka or Starly as well. So I thought Eviolite was my best bring. I have Morning Sun, Will-O-Wisp, Flare Blitz, and High Horsepower. High Horsepower primarily to hit the Larvitar, but Eviolite Ponyta is an emergency check to the Jangamo in the right circumstances, and I can just Flare Blitz that thing, because Flare Blitz is doing a lot if he's not Eviolite, which we are limited to. Sorry about that, guys. I am back. So talking about our Chespin, I actually got in match and realized that I had the wrong move on Chespin. I am a what I thought would be a Taunt, Super Fang, Synthesis, and Woodhammer set. I know the Fungus is going to be switching into Chespin. Chespin's going to be switching into Fungus. So I have the Super Fang and Taunt just to wear that thing down. With Taunt, he cannot Toxic me or anything like that either. So I can wear that thing down. Nothing else on his team really wants to switch into a Woodhammer, or a Super Fang for that matter. But I got into the match and realized I had Super Power over Super Fang. So that was a bit of a problem, because I could not touch the Fungus here in this match. So you'll see how that takes kind of effect. I have a Berry Juice Recycle, fairly bulky and speedy. Trubbish with Spikes, Gunk Shock, Recycle, and Seed Bomb. Seed Bomb is just to blow away the Larvitar. Then the Gunk Shot just really hits the entire team. Otherwise, for neutral damage, I'm going to Spike up whenever I get the opportunity to. His only form of hazard removal is the Starly, so I'm just going to be able to spam Spikes and get those set up, because I can come in on the Fungus as well with Recycle. I am sticky hold, so he cannot remove my item. He doesn't have knockoff on this particular team anyways that he chose to bring. But I can just sit there and recycle to continuously get up my my berry juice over and over again. So I do have sticky hold though for the Pancham. So which he did not elect to bring. And then finally, I talked about my emergency response to a lot of things. I feel like I can keep entry hazards off the field with my offensive presence pretty nicely. So I have a Focus Sash Helioptile that I will spend if needed on a +1 Jangamo or +1 Larvitar respectively, or even the Carvana if need be as well. So it's my oh shit check basically. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump into the battle. This was a really fun match, so hopefully you guys enjoyed this one because there's some cool tech on both sides here. So we are just going to go right on off and lead with our, I forget who I led with. Just played this last night too. Lead with my Roggenrola. That's right, because I want to get up rocks as soon as possible. I have berry juice, so I can take whatever from this thing, and I just take my juice, get right back up to full. Rocks are really important in this game because I need to wear down that Starly and break any Focus Sashes on his team. So I'm just going to go ahead and get up my rocks here. As long as I have Flintstone at full, I can still switch in on the Starly. And like I said, now Starly is going to be taking a quarter every time it comes in to play. So I was willing to make that trade for my berry juice there. I'm going to go ahead and switch out here though because I have Chespin that I can go into. And now is the time I realize that I do not have Super Fang. Super Fang would have been super nice here just to click very freely. So I'm not able to do that. So I go ahead and fire off the taunt because I know that the Fungus is probably going to come in. I don't want it to be able to spore the following turn in case I want to switch out. Actually, I just go for the Wood Hammer. Nice and safe Wood Hammer. And as you can see, that does like 1, maybe 2 damage. So, yeah, now I'm going to fire off the taunt just to make sure I don't get toxic or anything like that. And, yeah, this is going to be a long one here because this is going to be, you know, just back and forth. So, fire off the Hidden Power. He does not hit me super effectively, so I know it's not HP Ice or Fire or anything like that. I do not resist it either, so I know it's not HP Ground for him to hit the Trubbish, so I know it's got to be HP Psychic. So gonna go and make my switch here. I can eat up HP Psychic for days on my Trubbish if that's what he wants to go for. And like I said, I'm berry juice, so I can, like I said, I eat this up. I can take this all day. And it doesn't look like he has Synthesis. It just looks like he has Spore. Most likely Giga Drain, the Hidden Power, and the Sludge Bomb here at this point. So I can just Spike and then recycle up on the following turn. I'm 17 speed, so I am quick. So I'm just going to go ahead and Spike up here. As, yeah, now I don't know if he's Choice Scarf Larvitar at this point in the match, so I'm not going to risk it. I could kill him with Seed Bomb here, but like I said, I'm not going to risk it. I have a response to this thing. I like my Trubbish here a lot in this matchup. So, yeah, he's going to go and fire off the Rock Slide. I don't know for sure what's Scarfed yet and what's not, so that's why I chose to make the play that I did. We don't see Life Orb or anything, though, so it's either Scarf or it's going to be one of the Eviolite users. We know this is one at this point in the match, or the Larvitar even potentially could be Z2. So we know the Fungus is a one Eviolite user, and then it's either going to be the Larvitar, the Mareep, or the Jangamo. I'm thinking the Mareep here at this point, though, because of Wingull, in which if he's Eviolite Mareep, it's a really good bring because it really does shut down Wingull pretty efficiently. So fire off the taunt as he goes aggressively out into the Starly. Good play on his part because now he's able to put some offensive pressure on as I'm going to go out into Roggenrola as he fires off the U-turn. Now, like I said, I'm never going to let Jangamo or Larvitar set up in my face. I'm either going to boom or EQ respectively. And that he goes out into Jangamo. Jangamo is a huge problem for my team, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. Now, we are going to see how that turn 1 para on the T-Bolt comes back to haunt us, so to speak, here. As he Dragon Dances up, I'm going to boom, and we get full parried. So that's pretty unfortunate. The only way he was going to live that is if he was one of the Eviolite users, and I don't anticipate him being that. So we're going to get blown away by the Aqua Tail here. And now this forces our hand to go out into our Helioptile to Glare because I'm in big trouble if I don't do this otherwise. So it cost me Rock and Rolla, which is my Starly response. It cost me killing this thing, and now it's going to cost me my Focus Sash on Helioloptile 2 to this Z move. Now we're going to be able to take the Z move and get this glare off, and then attack it with an HP Ice on the following turn. But we go from just being able to boom here and double downing the Jangamo and the Rock and Rolla to losing our Sash, which could come back to bite us in the late game. We will just have to see. So we're going to go ahead and glare here on the Jangamo. Do a good bit of damage to it. We know it's not Eviolite here at this point. We know it's a Z user, which Jack actually said this was the wrong Z user. He meant to be, I don't know if he was going to be like Berry Juice or Life Orb or what. But yeah, he's going to pick up the kill on the Helioloptile there, and we are down 6-4 and not in a good shape here starting this match out. So we're going to go into Wingull. I have no reason not to click Scald. Wingull puts the most offensive pressure on his team, and we're able to kill the Jangamo. So Jangamo was a big problem in team prep. So able to get rid of that thing early game. And I still have the mons I need to. Goes out to the Carvanha here after we pick up the kill on Jangamo. And I have no reason not to sub up here, as what I predict he will do is protect. So he's going to actually go for the HP Electric. And that's going to set us back a bit too, because he's going to get the speed boost. He'll be able to outspeed us in the following turn. And yeah, we're in trouble. So I have no reason not to go out into my Chespin here if he wants to continue to go for the HP Electric. So that's exactly what I am going to do. It's just going to go right on out into Chespin. Actually go out into Trubbish. I'm sorry. Because if he does go for the HP Electric, then it's going to pop my juice and I'm back in range. Now that I know he's not Life Orb or anything like that. So he's going to go for the bounce. I can still live the bounce, and he's going to be able to get that off, obviously. We're going to be able to pop our juice, and my Seed Bomb is going to be able to pick up the kill on the Carvanha here. So that's a big, big threat down out of the way. This is what he meant to be his his Z move mon, the Fly Z. And that would have been some really cool tech for my Chespin. But Trubbish is able to do it, and yeah, we're still in this. So he goes out into the Mareep, and he's going to take around to Spikes and Rocks. I'm going to go out into my Chespin now, and I'm going to be able just to fire off a Wood Hammer on the following turn, I do believe, as he goes for the charge. And that's some very cool tech as well, because it's going to boost the power of his electric type moves. And I'm thinking at this point he is charge and like Cotton Guard. So I'm going to go for the taunt, actually, hoping I'm faster to be able to prevent that, because I'm in some big trouble. He's able to pick up the para on the T-Bolt again, as this Mareep came to try to pick up the dub here today. And we get off the taunt, he goes for the T-Bolt. As you can see, that does a lot of damage, and this one does not do as much. That's because of the charge boost. And we're just going to fire off a big Wood Hammer here, and this thing turns out to not be Cotton Guard or Eviolite. So now we know that the Larvitar is probably Eviolite. So now this is pretty pivotal here. I'm going to go out to my my Trubbish, because I can live anything, Double Edge or Brave Bird from Starly. I'm going to go for the Recycle here, because I can kill this thing and win the game with my Trubbish. But he does crit me on the Double Edge, which it makes it look really, really bad for us here at this point, because of that crit. So he's going to be able to go. I'm going to have to go out into my Ponyta now. He's going to go for Double Edge. I can live this. I'm going to go for the Morning Sun to get back up to full. And if I lose the game, if the Larvitar is Eviolite, which I'm suspecting that it is at this point in the match. So we're just going to have to see if it is or not. I have High Horsepower. High Horsepower will kill if he is not Eviolite, but if he is, then he's going to be able to D-Dance and win the game unless he misses a Rock Slide. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go for the High Horsepower and hope he's not, and turns out that he is. We actually get the max roll on that, and he's going to be able to D-Dance up and EQ us here on the next turn. I could not burn him. He is Guts. Or he has the ability to be Guts, and he's going to EQ us here, kill my Ponyta, and now it's down to, if we can dodge a Rock Slide, then our Wingull can win this game still. but it comes down to that. Can we dodge a rock slide? It'd feel better if it was Stone Edge, but he goes to the rock slide. He does connect, and that's going to be GG. So obviously the big turn was well, early game big turn was the Roggenrola full pair with the explosion there that preserves my Heliolisk at least. So I did have Surf, so we could have still taken on that Larvitar, but then like I said, we were still in position to win the game when Trubbish came out on the Starly. Trubbish 1v1'd everything there at that point. It 1v1'd the Fungus. It obviously killed the Larvitar through Eviolite with Seed Bomb. I outsped it on 17 speed. I was max speed. But the Scarf Starly did at most, I was at 23, I think at most it did 18. I was with the max roll, I believe. Let's see, Starly, Twist Scarf Starly, even if he's adamant. Yeah, even if he's adamant, Brave Bird or Double Edge does at a very max roll, it does 22 damage. That is adamant, reckless Choice Scarf. So we always recycled there. It would kill itself to recoil, and I would always be left with a full amount of HP. It was going to kill itself with 2 Brave Birds or Double Edges. And then, like I said, we won the game with Seed Bomb and Gunk Shot, respectively. So that's a bit unfortunate there, but that's the game that we play sometimes. Good prep there for Jack. Jack brought a very solid team here, so I don't want to take away anything from his prep or game plan or anything like that either, because he was still able to put a lot of pressure on my team with Jangamo and Larvesta respectively. And the Mareeps, that was very cool to see. Mareeps probably getting the thumb just for that as well, because Mareeps a cool mod. Elite Four Dan would have some respect for that. But good game to you, Jack. Looking forward to watching your side of the battle. Don't know if you live com or post com, but hopefully live com, because it'd be interesting to see your take on the battle as it played out. But anyways, good game to you, man. 3-1 now in the season, so not terrible. We just really, the pressure's on to really bounce back with a win next week against, I think it's JB. We play JB next, who we played recently in the BBL semifinals. And, yeah, we play JB week 5. So, yeah, looking forward to that match here. So yeah, guys, that's it here for me today. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for the support here this season. And yeah, until next time, we'll see you.